All right, we are live and we're streaming here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a few minutes just to see if anyone is going to log in. But if
All
they
right, we
don't,
are
we are
live
still
and we're
going
streaming
to be
here.
here and we're going to save this video. So for anyone who's watching, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. You guys know me from Amaya Papaya and now Yolanda Dion. I used to have a show called Place Based Solutions Live, but now we're here with my new platform, and I'm so grateful to have a former customer, now friend, and just business colleague, Miss Arianna Garner-Lewis, who is here, first of all, to talk about her new book called, can you guys see it? Me Too, Living in a Diverse Community. And I'm going to read maybe like a page or so from the book while we're on today, but let me get the focus of the book so people can see it. Can you see it well here? Yes. So, me too. There we go. So, guys, let me change my view here so you guys can see both of us. And Ariana, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Welcome to my platform here. Thank you for agreeing to be on today to talk about your book. So, I have a little free library, and this month I'm focusing on books featuring people of color and or by people of color. And I'm so happy that I get to feature a book that's by someone that I know. Ariana was so sweet. She came by my house and porch dropped off this book to me because, it's COVID and we're trying to socially distance. So she dropped her book off to me. Oh man, I want to make sure you guys can see it. She dropped her book off to me, and it's been really cool to go through. I almost want to be a little selfish, Ariana, because you dropped this off to me for it to go into my little free library, and I know that once it goes into my little free library, I'm probably never gonna see it again. So I've been a little selfish and really happy that I can hold on to the book until the day of this interview. And it can be all mine until today because after today, I know my readers and also people watching are going to want to go to the Little Free Library to try to snag this book.
Well, I definitely have to give you your own personal copy so you can have it. And I'll sign it, especially for you.
Oh, look at that. Before we talk about your book, can you please start with telling people if they're not so lucky to get this free copy in the Little Free Library, how can they get their own copy of Me Too?
You can purchase Me Too, growing up in, well, living in a diverse community on Amazon. Um, you can also purchase on my personal website, which is agarnersolution.com. And that's spelled AGarnersolutions.com. Or you can follow me on social media, and I have the links located in my bio. You can follow me on Instagram, which is SOS_ABA.
Very cool. And you don't have to remember anything she just said because I'm going to have the links available under this video, whether you're watching it here on YouTube or if you're going to be watching the replay of this video on YouTube or on Facebook under the Little Free Library or on Yolanda Dion. So, Ariana, tell me a little bit more about Me Too, living in a diverse community. Why did you write this book? Tell me about it.
Well, I was very adamant to get this book out in 2020 because during 2020, all over media, so much was going on in the African American community. And, I wanted to obviously write something, not only for parents, but also for children as well.
Right.
I have a background in applied behavioral analysis. And one thing that we teach our kiddos is noticing different things that happen in the environment. So
Okay.
by reading Me Too, Living in a Diverse Community, the kiddos will be able to recognize these different things that goes along in the book. I try not to give it away. And they'll be able to utilize their verbal behavior to speak up and speak out when they notice something is not right.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your career background and what you do.
Okay, so I have 10 years experience in the medical field.
Wow.
I have 4 years experience in behavioral, which is applied behavioral analysis. Some people do not know exactly what that
What
is.
is that? I was going to ask you, what is that? What does that mean?
Okay, so basically, I obtained a master's degree at Arizona State University, where we utilize science to assist children. Usually, our clients have been diagnosed with autism and they obtain services for behavioral. So, if they have some type of behavior at home or in school, depending on which area it is, we utilize science, also research to provide programs to assist them in their everyday life.
Wow, that sounds very scientific and over my head. And I'm so happy though that there are people like you who are the experts that can help parents with anything that they need in regards to their kids to help them with that specific niche in the educational and mental health too, huh?
Right.
Community. Tell me a little bit more about this cover here on the cover of Living in a Diverse Community. What is
So
the cover?
basically, I have a little copy here too.
Yeah.
The girls are outside playing jump rope and they're on the playground. And, a lot of times our kiddos are not always with us.
Mhm.
And they are with their friends, they are in different environments, and school plays a huge role. Like we spend majority of our time at school.
Right.
So we're able to interact with individuals who don't look like us. So we have to understand that they are different and we have to find that common denominator in order for us to find a solution to the issue that we have today in America, which is racism.
Yeah.
So that was the whole purpose of writing this book is, you spend your children spend their time at school with other people, and we have to understand that everyone's different, but they're special in their own unique way.
Got it. And who is this book for? Who would be the idea person to get this book? I know on the back it talks about the two little girls and it talks about each time your little girl hands you this book, but who is this book for? Who did you write this book for?
Honestly, I would have to say I wrote this book for my daughter.
Got it. And
Yeah.
what age group would you recommend for this book? Who do you think, like the family dynamic, what ages would their kids be um, for this to
Um,
be appropriate for their family?
so basically, that's a very interesting question because the way that I wrote this book, because some of the information in there is quite lengthy,
Yeah,
but the conversation, if you're reading to your small child,
right.
you just read the conversation and then you look at the pictures and you describe what's going on in the pictures and tack what's going on in the pictures, which means you showing them and naming the different items over there and you talk about the pictures. However, when they get a little bit bigger and they're able to read the book, so I will just say elementary,
Okay,
but little boys have been enjoying this book too,
cool.
so it's not just for girls. I was like, wow, I didn't expect little boys to read this book as well, but they've been picking this book
Okay,
up too.
definitely. And I love that in the back of the book you have a section for notes.
Hmm.
That's different. That's something unique to this book, I feel like. I feel like I've never seen a children's book that has a section for notes in the back of it. Why did you add these few pages at the end of your book for notes? What do you expect families to do with those pages? Or if a teacher or a therapist or someone is using this book, how would they utilize the back of your book when they're working with a
Um,
child?
Basically, when I added the notes in the back, because I also published the children's manual. So basically, I want every experience to be a learning experience.
Mhm.
And when I wrote this book, there is metaphors and similes in this book. And I would love for when the parent reads to their child to understand the message that I'm sending them and write down exactly what I was talking about. For an example, my little nephew, he asked me, he was like, Auntie, why did you choose peanut butter and jelly sandwich for the little girls to eat? And
Yeah.
I explained to him that, you know, at that very moment when you're reading this book to your child, everyone is going to have their me too moment, like, oh my goodness, me too, I like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So it's like the reader and the listener, they're going to have their me too moment of relating to eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because listen, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are good.
Let me tell you, I typically in the middle of the night when I'm hungry and I need something to eat, I wake up and I make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, me too. Let's take a break. And can I have you? I was going to read it, but I think it might be fun for you to read a part of your book to the listeners today. Since we talked about the peanut butter and jelly, let's read that page. So, let's set it up. We have these two little girls who are now in the book and they are eating lunch together, right?
Yep.
And do these little girls have a name?
Yes.
What are their
their
names?
their name is Rose and Daisy.
Rose and Daisy. So cool. Let's go ahead and read this page that talks about the girls eating their peanut butter and jelly.
Okay, so your food smells good, says Rose. Thank you. I chose to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich today, said Daisy. Me too, exclaimed Rose. Everyone needs food for nutrients to help them grow. Some people choose to eat different types of food because of their religion. Some foods may look and smell different because of the ingredients added to the meal. Food is familiar to Food is similar to water that helps flowers grow. Water is valuable to flowers. Many cultures have traditional meals that are important to that person.
Very cool. Thank you for reading this. So, when I really love how you go into detail about everyone has some similarities. Why do you think that's important?
Meaning, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, no problem. Why do you think it's important for you to convey the story? We talked about 2020 and some of the things that have happened or had are happening now or that had happened in 2020. Why do you think it's important to convey the message to children as well as families that everyone has similarities? Why is that important for people to kind of know?
Well, the number one thing that I always speak about on my platform is, and I always like to relate everything to school, like
Yep.
math and science and everything, because again, we have that Me Too moment, like, oh my goodness, I took that in school.
Exactly.
So when it comes to fractions, we add and subtract fractions. However, when there are improper fractions, you must find a common denominator in order to find a solution. So we have to learn to agree to disagree.
Mhm.
And typically, when we're able to hear our speaker, or if we're the listener and we're trying to listen to someone's reasoning behind anything,
Mhm.
we always come to an agreement that, oh, you know, that is true. However, so we have to find that common denominator to agree to disagree. So here in the book, we talk about eating food. And a lot of us can attest to working in a work environment. People bring in different food from their cultural background, and it smells
Right.
different, it looks different. And sometimes people do say things that are inappropriate, but we have to respect other people's culture and what they prefer to eat. And so, you know, me putting that in this book, children will read this book and remember these words, and it's like, oh, okay, so when they do grow up and they're in a work environment or they're at school and they notice their friend eating something different that looks different, they can ask me like, oh, that smells good. What are you eating? Instead of like, ew, that's weird. What is that? So, giving them a polite way to ask questions about what is different.
Wow, this is genius, honestly. And I think that so many parents may struggle with how they talk about diversity with their children, and something as simple as foods and us being connected by some of the same things that we may put in our foods, or just being able to learn about different cultures through their food is such a simplistic way to teach little ones about diversity. So
But
honestly, Ariana, this is genius. I know that, people will watch this and they'll say, yeah, that lesson gets taught, throughout time. But I think putting it in this book format and having it um, so beautifully written for parents to be able to go through with their children is just really great. So I'd say congratulations on your book. And where do you hope to see this book at? Do you hope to see this book in, homes, in schools? What's your intention for this book, and where do you want to see it utilized?
um, it's funny that you asked that because in 2020, this book dropped in December, and I said, you know what, I want to put this book in a library, and
Ah,
it's in a library, it's in your free little library, and it's like, wow, I actually made a goal. I didn't say what library.
yeah.
So my next goal is, try to put it in hardback and hopefully get into schools and public libraries.
Very cool. And then do you plan to go out or speak more on platforms about your book?
Of course, I actually have something scheduled next month. I will be speaking to young girls.
Wow.
They're going to be middle school, elementary, and high school. So I will definitely be speaking to them in regards of the children's manual as well as Me Too living in a diverse community.
Tell me a little bit more about your manual and
Oh,
how
the
your
children's manual.
manual connects to the actual book.
Okay, so the children's manual is basically a tool for parents.
Okay.
And so in the book, you're able to write down the medical professionals' information because you can attest to this. This is a Me Too moment. When you go to the doctor's office, you're digging in your purse looking for all your stuff. Like, oh my goodness, where is Amaya's dentist card and
Right.
so forth? So you
Right.
have your children manual and you have their website, their fax number, everything is in the children's manual. And then if Amaya was little, now she's bigger, say if she's home from school and she's sick, you drop her off at your mom's house and give her the children's manual. Everything she needs to know about your child is in the children's manual.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
and so another thing that's also in the children's manual is, setting goals with your children, having that communication after school. Because a lot of times parents are like, oh, how was your day? Oh, my day was good. Okay. And that's it. But we have to teach our kiddos to go a little bit more in depth. Like, was there a moment that you were sad at school? Was something funny? Kind of understand where your
Right.
children are because life is different now. We have technology and everything. So you have to know your children.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that it's really important for parents to understand how to engage a little bit more with their children. And you talked about technology, how to, have their kids take a break from technology and really just spend time unplugged with their family. I think
Right.
that parents so often don't know how to start these important conversations with our little ones about what's going on within their day. So I think having a tool to do that is really cool and really important. And being able to like carry it with you or have it in a place uh, where it's always available might be really nice for a parent to utilize this tool too.
Yeah, and the big reason behind that, I created the children's manual was because a lot of my kiddos they go to occupational therapy, speech therapists, they go see their primary doctor, and they ask you so many questions, and in that moment, you don't remember everything. but there's sections in there where you can look up their sleep patterns, their medication change, and you're documenting everything. So you can flip to the tab and say, oh, okay, on such and such night, he slept for 2 hours. And, it's just keeping all the medical professionals in a loop, and you're not, oh, I forgot something, and call them back and you're on wait, call wait for a long period of time. So I
Right.
just created the tool that I would need and other parents would need as well.
Yeah, and that's how lots of great ideas I feel like are created by us being parents and by us just needing something for our own children. And we say, you know what? I'm going to just create this thing and do it. Hey, Ariana, I just realized, see, I'm a parent. I just realized I only had one earring on during half our interview. That's funny. I'm a parent. I need something to help me. Nah, but anyways, this has been a really cool conversation. Is there anything about yourself, first of all, that you would like my listeners to know about Ariana? What should they know about you? What's important about you?
Um, what I do, I'm really, really passionate about it. I love working with kids because I came from a very large family. I'm the last of 12. I
Oh
have
my goodness.
I have like 25 nieces and nephews. It's probably 30. I lost track. And
Holy moly. That what a fun family though.
right, and then we have another generation. I have great nieces and nephews. So
Wow.
it's 4 generations. So I play with all the kids, change all their diapers, and come there with my toys and everything because I sell educational toys. So it's like, oh, here go the play sink, and I'm playing with the kids, and it's
Right.
just so much fun. And I'm the auntie with the toys, and
You're the fun aunt with the toys that plays. I love it. I'm a part of what I teach is passion, purpose, and play, and it sounds like you're totally in that wheelhouse and doing all of that. So I really love that about you. Is there anything else that you would like to tell everyone about your book?
which one? The children's manual or
The-
me too?
well, me too. And do you plan on releasing more books?
Oh my goodness. So many people been asking me, they like, are we going to see Rose and Daisy when they get older? Are you going to have a boy edition? I'm like, oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting.
You're like, it's only February, people. This dropped in December, right?
Right. Like, can I? But I do have a book coming out. This book, oh my goodness, I can't wait to release this book. I
Wow.
just been on the edge of my seat with this one. It's basically teaching kids about goals.
Wow.
And
Cool.
yeah, so I can't wait to release that one. Um, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it
Yep.
away.
Let's not give it away. However, for anyone that's really excited about Me Too living in a diverse community, just know that Ariana is going to be releasing another book, and we have that to look forward to. But in the meantime, be sure to one, go to the Little Free Library here in Fern Park on Waverly Drive here in Florida, if you're in Florida, because I know I have quite a few people that watch out of Florida, but if you're so lucky to be in Florida, in Fern Park, where the Little Free Library is, stop by. I'm going to put it in the Little Free Library tomorrow morning, and I'm sure that, someone's going to grab it. But if you are not in Florida, or if you're not able to get to the library, or if you aren't so lucky to grab it before it's gone, please go on to Ariana's website to grab a copy, or really easy, go on to Amazon, look it up, and you can buy it like right now while you're listening. I really love that you're on the Amazon platform where people can just look for the book, find it, order it right away. My
That's my
house.
favorite. That's my
Yeah,
favorite spot.
we love Amazon here in our house. I don't know how we've lived without it. So I'm so happy to see that you're on that platform, which makes it really easy for people to access your book and your manual. If someone wants to get in contact with you for your services, can you tell us a little bit more about how they can contact you or what you can do for them for your business? Ariana owns what's called Specs of the Spectrum. I want to make sure you guys can see it in the light. Oh my goodness. Of course. Here we go. Kind of. Yes,
There
there it
we go.
is. Can you tell us a little bit more about Specs of the Spectrum and what you can do for them if they wanted to take advantage of your services?
Okay, so currently at the Specs of the Spectrum, I'm providing CPR and first aid training for professionals as well as parents. First I was selling educational toys, and I said, "Oh my goodness," a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, okay, Lord forbid, what if a kid is playing with a toy and they choke on the toy? The
Right.
parent needs to know how to do CPR, the Heimlich maneuver. So I offer that
Right.
service there. So when you visit me at my location, I have the store, the educational toys are available. You can take your CPR and first aid class with me. When you purchase an item with me, you have the ability to meet me on Zoom. We can go a little bit more in depth how to sit down and play with your kiddos. Because a lot of times parents, they just buy toys and walk away. And it's like,
Right.
I can help you play with your kiddo.
Right.
So I'm located in Altamont Springs area off of 434. So she's going to add my handles. So once you click on there, you can find my address. You can Google me and come right to Specs of the Spectrum.
Very cool. And Ariana offers so many cool things, and I'm always thinking of ways that I can partner with people that do really cool things to bring them to my platform. So, this is just the first in us collaborating and talking about her business because I definitely want to schedule some type of virtual workshop where you can do CPR training for indoor playground owners or service providers throughout the US. So, guys, if you're watching and you're listening to everything Ariana's saying and you're like, gosh, I want to buy that book, but I also think I'd love for her to offer some type of training to my space or what have you, look out because I am definitely going to partner with her to do something really cool utilizing my platform. So, Ariana, I don't know what it is yet. However, just look for me to contact you. I'm thinking though a CPR workshop would be really neat to do virtually if that's possible. Because I know when I own my play space, I was always searching for someone who can train my staff on how to do CPR and first aid. So I think just having a person who I can rely on would be nice. So I think that that might be a cool way that we can partner.
Awesome. I look
Yeah.
forward to
Okay.
partnering with you.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to meet with me. I look forward to talking to you again. Everyone that's listening today, I will be debuting my new website. If you have followed along with my story, you know that I went from amayapapaya.com to placebasedsolutions.com, and now I'm transitioning again to Yolanda Dion. And on that new website, I actually have a blog post that Ariana has authored. So you'll not only be able to see this video and replay it, but you'll also be able to read a little bit more of her personal story and what happened with Ariana in 2020 and be inspired by her triumph through 2020 as well. So I really look forward to having that on the platform and letting people read more about your story as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, guys, I am going to get to chat with Ariana a little bit more, but we're going to do it off of our live. So, right now, I'd like to wish you guys a little bit of peace, love, and sunshine. And thank you, Ariana, for joining me
No
today.
problem. Bye, everyone.